Are you comfortable with possibly getting a majority through floor crossing as opposed to an electoral process?
But first of all, Rosemary, we're not yet there at a majority. I don't know if other Conservative or other MPs will decide to join our caucus. I listened to Mr. Poilievre's interview with you. He forgot how quickly they celebrated a couple of Liberal MPs that crossed to join the Conservative caucus in Mr. Harper's year. So memories are short here. Sanctimony is very high. And hypocrisy is never far away. So this, as you pointed out, is part of a parliamentary tradition. These people were elected by their constituents. They make decisions to leave Mr. Poilievre's caucus for whatever reason they decide. I'm comfortable that these MPs, in the case of my friend from Nova Scotia, Mr. D'Entremont, who made the decision some weeks ago, and Mr. Ma, it's an absolutely legitimate parliamentary decision, and we'll see if others also decide. Mr. Poilievre, of course, accepted no responsibility for those decisions from his caucus members, and that's also not unusual on his part.
Okay, let's move on to some of the things that you have been working on and will have to work on in the new year. The Prime Minister met with the President and the Mexican President in D.C. at that FIFA event. They met behind closed doors for 45 minutes. The Prime Minister's office said they came out committed to working on CUSMA. What does that mean at this stage, Minister? Because it's very hard to get a handle on where things are at.
So, Rosemary, it's a question we ask ourselves often in the government. The Prime Minister said that was the conversation he had with President Sheinbaum of Mexico and Mr. Trump was very positive in the sense that the three of them agreed that the review that was built into the CUSMA agreement 6 years ago will start early in the new year. It's consistent with conversations I've had with Secretary Lutnick in the United States, Ambassador Greer, and I was a couple of weeks ago in Mexico and had a very encouraging conversation with the economy minister in Mexico, who talked about how they're very much in the same position as Canada, worried about these sectoral tariffs that are doing considerable damage to different sectors of the economy, but focused very much on the opportunity to recommit to a trilateral free trade agreement. It's not a renegotiation, it's a review. No. We hope the Americans maintain that posture. And Rosemary, again, I saw in your introduction, there have been public comments from different American officials about different options. In private, the conversations are much more reassuring, or sort of traditional review under American law as these treaties would evolve. So we remain hopeful.
What was happening before the infamous Ontario ads that stopped the formal talks, the formal negotiations, seemed to be that you were making some progress on these sectoral tariffs. Is that now off the table, and the government's approach is to work through the CUSMA review?
I would, and you're right, we believe we were making progress. We hadn't arrived at a deal, but we were in a level of detail and exchange and frequency of meetings with senior American counterparts on steel, aluminum, and energy. We'd agreed that the next move would be on automobiles and softwood lumber, critical minerals. So the Prime Minister and the President had agreed on a process. We were hopeful. You're right. Mr. Trump decided to suspend those negotiations. That's regrettable. It would have been important for the Canadian economy had we been able to land a deal that was in the interests of Canadian workers and Canadian businesses. I wouldn't say, Rosemary, it's off the table in the sense that the minute the Americans decide that it's in their economic interest to continue, and obviously they did because they were spending hours with us and advancing. So we're ready to resume those conversations and believe that we can get these bilateral arrangements that will bring relief to these sectors. However,